Alright, I found out that this game is roughly sits at about 14 hours, which was way longer than I was expecting. Not a bad thing, trust. Oof. Anyway, right, the radar has detected some new land. At long last, it hasn't been fun lately. You are all, and you are still joking. Put our shoes on, we need to set up camp. Good day. Hey there, Fam. Fam, hello, is there something wrong? Johnny has given orders to help you set up camp, and it's my shift right now, and my pleasure to oblige. He says that last night's incident is still too raw, and that you shouldn't be left on your own. Okay, but I'm sure we would have managed on our own. I cannot go against my leader's instructions. Will you be so kind as to show me where you keep everything? Dora, may I? Yes, Maximilian. Iris, you two tag along. Fam, will this be enough, or should I also wake up Tony? More than enough, thank you. If that's more then, can I maybe read for another half an hour? Just a thought. Iris, I know you don't like setting up camp, but this isn't right. We'll be more than fine with just the three of us, Dora. With your kind consent, of course. All right. Well, I don't have to go set up camp. But then, Iris, you'll be helping with the dishes later. And I thought I was in heaven a mere second ago. Iris. Let us waste no time, champions. Dora, I'll inform you as soon as everything is ready. Abrico has gone up to the roof to unfold the tent. This means they're about to be done. Make yourself useful at once, please. Go up too and find out if Fab will have breakfast with us. And if not, maybe coffee at least. Isn't he going to come down here anyway when he's done with the tent? Iris. I need a pretty lace apron, a menu, and a tray. Or not at all, actually. That was a very random thought. My mind must be playing up after last night, I guess. You look good in this getup, though. We both would. Iris. Okay, I'm off. May I inquire if you're all right? Doesn't his attention make you uncomfortable? It's about the second time that I'm even seeing this dude. He can give me all the attention he wants, for all I care. Yes, Dora asked me to find out if you're having breakfast with us, or at least some coffee. No breakfast for me, but coffee would be really great. Thank you. I'll let her know. Hold on a minute, please, if you don't mind. Iris, may I ask you a question? As long as it's not too long or complicated, otherwise Dora will start missing me. Of course, I won't hold you up. Tell me, please, is there anything I should not bring up with Third and Tony around? I mean, any subjects that frustrate them in particular. So that you know how to push their buttons when you need to? Of course not. Why would I do that? Can't think of off the top of my head, but I believe you can surprise me. Why are you even interested in anyone's weak spots? To make sure we avoid them efficiently. We presume we'll be lucky enough with Tony and Third joining the practitioners. They should feel psychologically comfortable with us. I don't quite understand what this has to do with Tony. He doesn't seem too interested in your faction. He isn't yet, I have to admit. I'm sure you know that Tony's abilities are almost endless. I'm not going to lie here. We're hoping he'll reconsider once his adjustment is complete. And if he doesn't? He certainly may not reconsider, but his first needs to fully adjust to everything here, and comfort is essential for adjustment, including when communicating with practitioners. Have I upset you? Let's see. Just a second. I need to think. Sure. I'm not liking this for some reason. Hey there, inner voice. What about you? I think he appears to be a reasonable man. He sort of does, but still. Is he too polite? Does he care too much about others? Is he failing to propose indecent things to you? Or to yell at you for no reason? Well, yeah. Dora looks after Tony and does a lot to help him get better. Maybe this is Fabricio's own way of trying to take care of others. Fine. So why doesn't he just ask Dora then? Maybe he did, and maybe he's still going to. If I were him, I'd try to get as many opinions as possible. I guess that's reasonable. Damn it, I should probably have said something to him by now, and still, something seems off to me. And not anything in particular? That sounds questionable. Maybe you're right. I'm just expecting there to be a catch-all the time, or not. I can just say that I don't want to answer, but then we'll never know which of the two of us was right. I mean, Fabricio, the epitome of evil while you're just too trusting? Or is it the other way around? He's fine while you're suspecting things for no reason. Do you want to be proved right? I just want to know the truth. Anyway, it's stage time. Don't mention the past or how it affects the present when you're around third. And regarding Tony, it's pretty much the same. His prototype was a drug addict, so you should certainly avoid this subject. Oh, thank you very much for the info. It is really valuable to the practitioners, and we will treat it with diligence. If I can somehow return the favor, please don't hesitate to let me know. Whenever you need help, just ask, as long as it's not illegal, of course. If I find out who is on Serena's case and where the files are kept, I'll ask him for help. Johnny mentioned that Crab's prototype was a cop. Thanks for now. I'll keep that in mind. Deal. Iris, seriously, don't hesitate to ask me. Okay. And I really have to go now, as I'm long overdue to inform Dora about your breakfast preferences. Of course, I won't hold you up. See you soon, and be well. It's taken you so long. Were you learning about Fab's preferred menu options, food allergies, and the relationship between the time of the day and how much sugar he takes in his coffee? I had to calculate the position of Mars and the star-studded sky of the prototype's world. Hence the delay. So complicated. And he'll only have some coffee, by the way. And there I was, thinking you're shirking from breakfast duty. Nah, let's get the food out. Rose? No, but you'll enjoy it anyway. Jeez, Rose. You definitely need to try a wider range of tasty things. So do I. Why? If you know you're going to like that food, why would you need to try something else? That's how I am. So I do have an adventurous palate, but still, I have my favorites that I obsess about. And then I get, like, one day I'm just like, I'm done with it, and I never want to look at it ever in my whole life. And another thing I should mention too, the one thing that I am not liking about this game from the backside of it is that I have turned off music, but as you can tell during tense moments, there is music that's played automatically. And more than once I'm getting hit with that music is copyrighted protected. So as someone who's trying to provide you with this content, it is being a bit problematic. Anyway. Okay, besides the point. Let's get back into it. Sorry, immersion. All done. You've got some free time now. As I've said before, you should make good use of it. Scientists and practitioners will need your help, so try to make a good impression. Lights out at 9. Dora, you know where to find me if you need me. Iris, Maximilian? I don't want to go anywhere. Well, fine. You just stay here then. Okay. Ouch. What is this effing thing? Oh my goodness, that is a bad crack. Dora says that many cracks in the very beginning. It should eventually go. This probably never happened to you earlier because you're in a better physical form than we are. Oof. Iris, that's enough. Maximilian, we should go and get Takeo to have a look at you. Hey, no one thought of getting Takeo to have a look at me. Seems like it has to do with the circumstances in which he... Or is it about the size of the crack? Or about the physical form. Those forms. They're making a difference. Tony, wait for me here, alright? Alright, I'll wait for you like Rico did. Iris, will you keep an eye on him? Alright. I'll be back soon. This is my chance to ask the Chosen One how he's going to save the world. Or maybe something more down to earth. Why am I fuzzy? Tony, you keep calling me fuzzy, but I don't quite understand what you mean by that. I mean good things. Care to be more specific? Fuzzy is nice to touch. Do you want to touch me? And Dora and Tian too. You are all nice. Johnny would have loved to comment on that. Aren't you going to try and explain to him that that sounds a little ambiguous? Like how, Tony? I'm sorry, but you seem to want something naughty from me, and Tony is like, oh, what does naughty mean? Oops. What do you think of Max? Is he going to be okay? I don't know. And how would you like it to be? I would like everything to be okay. Who's Rika? You have mentioned her a lot. Rika is nice. Me and her, we were friends. Oh, I probably still can't demand that Tony speak any clearer. So, Tony, how are you going to save the world? I got a serious question for you, Tony. How are you going to save the world? How should I? I think you should have some fun while at it. Then I'll have some fun. Everything go fine? Yes. Good. The Maximilian is more or less fine. His crack isn't spreading. People don't usually crack this much at once, except for when in the void, or for extreme situations, of course. Anyway, Takeo is trying to figure out what happened. So, what did? Is it because Maximilian is in such exceptional physical form? It's not funny, Iris. Maybe I'm also trying to figure things out. What did Takeo say? If it's not about the form, does it have to do with personal qualities then? Individual qualities do matter, but no one knows where the cracks come from. Remember? He's simply dealing with the aftermath like he always does. Like he always does. He's been studying cracks for long, and admittingly with next to no success. I mean, he's come up with effective treatment methods, but that's about it. We regularly visit Keycott, this town, or more like a village, where none of the locals ever crack. I've heard about it. And in that case, you've certainly heard that there is no successful experiments there. All we can do is admit that Maximilian also has a crack now, and it has to be treated, which is what Takeo is trying to do right now. I sound like I'm judging, don't I? I didn't mean it like that. He is one of the best doctors in the community, even in his current state. I just don't share his fascination with the cracks. What do you mean his current state? Shouldn't have said anything. His business is his private business. All right, where were we? Tony, are you ready to go see Tian? Yes. Excellent, Iris. So what are you going to do after all? I'm planning on not being sad and not cracking. Still joking. Fine. Either way, if you decide to visit the practitioners, try being more diplomatic. Everyone is tense after last night, and we're also very far away from the new land. So, I get it. Everyone is walking around long-faced, so your jokes are not welcome, Iris. Exactly. Chloe has finally made Johnny do some work, and Roy is indeed walking around with a face suggesting that someone has died. You're making it even harder to fight the temptation. Well, try your best then. Let's go, Tony. We're finally alone, and I wanted to say something. That's an intriguing intro. Are you going to confess your undying love to me? No, I just wanted to apologize. Back there with the bus, I wasn't thinking, and I just went with my gut. I tried to help and do the right thing, and that's why I got offended when you didn't trust me, which you totally had a right to do. I'm sorry. You should be the one to decide what to do, not your inner voice. I don't know, though. I listen to my inner voice all the time. Oh, that's not true, though. I just lied to you. I try to listen to my inner voice all the time. But there's also the other voice, the voice that's scared and afraid to try things and afraid of failure. That sometimes trumps out the inner voice. And a good example of that is me starting YouTube. I really procrastinated starting YouTube. My inner voice told me to try it, but the voice that was the part of me that was terrified and shy and always thinks I'm going to fail and everything was like, no, don't even bother. Okay, sorry. Again, immersion. I must be lonely today or something. I don't know. I try not to act on impulse anymore. Again, I'm sorry. Fine, we're good. Wanna grab a beer? All right, you're in my head. Turns out, every time you drink beer, we drink beer. I've always known I needed double the amount. Actually, it better not be beer. That's not my drink of choice. Yes, yours is whiskey. What was it we were going to do now? Things. I really want to finally see Suze. I should do it now. She's usually busy reflecting in the evenings. I can also help the scientists or the practitioners, but then in that case I won't have enough energy left to open the door to Suze myself. As far as I understand, there's no point in asking Roy or Johnny for help with the door today. They've got their hands full. Someone indoors good books at the moment, so I could ask her for help. You can always open the door yourself. Dora also mentioned that Roy was very down. We should try to find out what's with him. By the way, you wanted to see a doctor, remember? I know, thanks for reminding me. Takeo is probably busy with Maximilian now, but I'm sure he'll find a couple of minutes for me in the evening. I'll start with Roy, though. Roy! Hey, Iris. Are you guys having a competition for the sternest facial expression that you're very keen on winning? Want to join? I'm not in a competitive mood right now, but I wouldn't leave you on your own. You can be the participant with an incredibly sullen fan group. I think it will really impress the jury if I wail with sorrow a couple of times. Let alone how impressed I will be. And the reason is, in fact, rather competition-worthy. I've been to the lab. Experiments indicate that the link between me and the prototype is unbreakable. Completely, that is. And then there's something else. Not just unbreakable, but also scared? Protected by law. No, that something else is a different matter. We need to talk, and it's important, but I really am very busy right now. Where are you going to be later tonight? And sorry, I never asked, how are you doing? You okay? Apart from the fact that my ally is clearly overloaded. I guess I'll live. I cannot be too certain, but that's my plan for the next few hours. And regarding later on tonight, the clamp will provide shelter for my fleeting flesh. I've got to run, but just one more thing. Tell me, please, was there anything that Serena could do that you couldn't? Lots of things. She's good at archery, she can juggle, dance flamenco step, and acrobatic rock and roll, and also, dancing then. What's your shoe size? Roy, that's the second question already. Please. My size is 5. That's a European 38. What's all this, Roy? I'll find you. +1, mysterious Roy. What do you reckon he wants from you? Something to do with feet. Kinky or... Who are you and what are you doing in my head? Now, I can't stop trying to figure out if it's kinky or not. And I'd like to know just how kinky. We'll find out later, I suppose. The question is, where do we go next? is in the third column. You're helplessly ham-handed, aren't you? Any chick from the admin department would have handled this better. Ooh. Well, maybe you should just sit in your lab with all the chicks. While they might enjoy you calling them that and being an arse all the time, I've had enough. You need calculations? You do them. And stay away from me. It's the first time that I'm seeing such high verbal activity given the absolute lack of any signs of intelligence. And by the way, the community needs those calculations, not me. Another mistake, and it's logical this time? Doubt you know the term, though. Logical. Can you even repeat that? You scum. A mean old man who only knows how to say mean things to everyone. Do you really think anyone here gives a damn about you and your stupid research? Not even... I'm having massive deja vu. Someone is always yelling wherever I go. They've been at it for at least half an hour. Susu is in the lab. I'd interviewed myself, but you said that in cases like this. Yes, you're right. Thank you, Marco. Ian was clearly put off her work with Tony. I wonder what she'll do next. She'll hardly bite anyone's head off for the sake of world peace and order, but it might be curious to watch, nevertheless. Tian, she made an absolute joke of an error in her calculations. Here, have a look. Is it based on the data you brought in yesterday? Exactly. Could have gone straight to testing, but our loon here... I'm not a loon. I know. That's not the only thing Candy, let him explain, please. Our loon here has decided for some reason that it was fine to perform the calculations with a random number generator. 2 additional angles instead of 3, 4 adjustments instead of 5, a brand new formula out of the damn blue, and some wishful factorial in the third column. You took her on board as an act of mercy, didn't you? How can someone be so... Otto, you're now to answer my questions only. No comments about Candy. Just answer my questions. I am. Excellent. Please explain this new formula to me in detail. What do you mean explain? Isn't it more than obvious? These two or Max and third? Max and third or these two? Max is scarier in his fury. Max is scarier in his fury, while Otto is better with nasty words. Sort of equally sorry for Candy in third. And what exactly do you... We need a quarrels rating. What for? Just imagine Otto's face when he loses the top spot to some newbie or two. You're evil. So then, you're getting the picture. I'm sorry, but I don't understand. Is this to calculate the statistical error? Did it take you a whole minute to figure this out? Tian, you should do less field work and focus on some serious research before it's too late. So, am I right? Well, yeah, we should be able to use the function for tests at different levels of stabilization in the void with significantly less incoming data. So... You're saying the new formula requires fewer angles, adjustments, and time while we still get the same results. It's genius. You get it now. You got me like a junior assistant. I thought it might be good for Candy to hear that you considered her formula genius. Well, it would also be good for her to hear that she's useless, wasting time on all that random nonsense instead of doing something serious. I highly doubt that Eric Hansen founded Crystal City by simply sitting around doing nothing. Which is why, Candy, you'll get nowhere in the end. You'll only succeed at burying your talent deep underground. Talent is another word that should have been said out loud. Thanks, Otto. I've underestimated you again, Tian. That's okay. It'll take a couple more times telling Candy how good she is, and you'll learn your lesson. I'm so sorry. I did go over the calculations, but I must have gotten distracted. Yeah, that's just what I thought. Forgive me. For what? For this performance. You're awesome, and your approach is so original. See, even Otto admits it. We can find someone to double-check the maths after you, should we ever need to, but there's no finding another you. I was so scared. I thought, what if you take his word for it, and we... Oh, everything is fine. May I not work with him anymore? No, but I'll try making your interactions more comfortable. I promise. I want to cry on Tian's shoulder, too. You're so nice. Iris, you've been standing there for quite a while now. I'm struggling to come up with an opening line to come on stage with the boom. Actually, I wanted to help you with something, or at least to distract you from nothing. Iris? Yep, that's me. I'm sorry we've been like this, and you had to see it all. I hope you're not going to think badly of me. I'm not. You came up with a genius formula, after all. You remembered. I'm so happy. Thank you. Thank you, Iris. Thanks a lot. Candy, don't worry. And by the way, Marco was asking about you. Susumu will probably be back from the lab soon. You should have the reports on the third series of experiments on him. Deal with all the paperwork all right? About the paint. Yes, he mentioned it. Sure, I'll dash and find Marco. See you later, Iris. Do you want to help? I need to go back to Tony, and meanwhile, Takeo could use an assistant. He got Maximilian with him. You know about the cracks, right? Uh-huh. You can say I'm one of the witnesses to that mysterious and highly random event. Great. They're behind the bus. Let's configure all the final settings. Would you like anything with your tea? No, thanks. Why are you standing there? Takeo, we cannot do any experiments with her around. She must go. Excuse me, what do you mean? He means me. With Maximilian and I, it's complicated. Iris. I've got your medication. Let's step aside. I need to brief you on the dosage. Maximilian, excuse me. I'll be back soon. Such a baby. He's so creative. Do you approve then? Just curious what he comes up with. Tell me, doctor, what's wrong with me? Am I dying? In the foreseeable future, hardly. By the way, are you well? I'm fine in general. There are a few problems, but now I've come to help and ended up involved in your cunning scheme for tricking the naive Maximilian. Sarcasm fully justified, but thanks for not ratting me out. Regarding your problems, is it anything urgent, or can we talk later tonight? Tonight is good. Excellent. So here's the context. We need to create a situation that Maximilian will not be able to ignore and hence will react to. The situation must be safe, involve minimal stress, and seem believable. Something that could just as well happen without our direct input. Here's an example for you. Tea and sugar shaker. While with me, Maximilian did not touch the shaker, yet now he seems to be adding sugar to his tea. My observations indicate that cracks typically close when a person is doing something they want to do. Therefore, Maximilian's incident can be considered unique. He wanted to do nothing and Dora let him, and the crack appeared at once. Normally it should be the other way around. Here's my hypothesis. Maximilian does not fully understand what he actually wants. So we're going down a level to see how he makes choices when the impact of external factors is minimized. Use objects within his reach. Has Dora already explained to you how to influence things from a distance? Nah, can I lift the bus with the power of my thought? Theoretically, you're hardly powerful enough, though. When creating an object, there is an instant when you have already invested some energy, but not enough. Try materializing something small next to my paper holder, but stop halfway through. I'll generate the pressure, but not the actual item, correct? Indeed, and don't worry, you can't materialize an object into an object. Excellent. I didn't even see it. Try not to attract any attention to us. Maximilian should not realize that the experiment is already in progress. You got about 5 to 7 minutes before he gets suspicious. Any questions? Is it a double experiment? Are you going to watch me and then use what you see someplace else? Let's just say that I am going to write every detail. Okay, I got a few ideas. I can make something click on the shelves, and the sound will probably catch his attention. Or I can drop the box, not onto Max, but next to him. Or undo one of the tent corners. You can also flash that lamp like in a horror movie or make the football roll up to his feet. You're the perfect help for Takeo. Don't get distracted. I think we have enough time to do 3 out of 5. As long as we stop chatting. This is insane. The crack has closed so much. Oh, what does it tell it? But what does it tell us? How fixing tents enhances the quality of Max's life? Although, I've always known that ropes can make anything better. True that. Seems like Maximilian wants to organize the space around him. Very telling. And it most likely that he would have done nothing of the sort in my presence. And mine too, probably. What now? Definitely not playing any football. Delightful. Your arrival has probably frustrated him. That is an interesting effect. Hope you didn't have anything breakable there. Shh, his reaction. And... is this a rapper? Oh, is there a rapper among us? Community provides us with plenty of gold. It is a cheap resource for experiments. Looks like you managed to pick up on his memories rather than desires. It was clearly something personal, so I'll not even write it down. Our time is up. Thanks, Iris. You have really helped me out. There's still many other tests to be conducted. For now, however, it seems like the cracks are affected by the true aspirations that a person does not acknowledge or does not act on due to their social behavior. It appears that the further development of therapy should not be based purely on acting on the patient's proclaimed desires, but also on searching for those true aspirations. Simply speaking, this is a psychologist's job. Better even a few of them. Psychotherapy is very undeveloped in our world, and maybe our experiment will convince the community to invest more resources in this field. I will tell Maximilian of the results, and that the experiment has, in fact, already been conducted. I think he will not be too happy to see you, so do not get me wrong, but we should probably part. Can I sneak a peek, though? Are your boots laced? You can pretend your laces are undone. You're a doctor. You're too familiar with espionage. Patients must not suspect anything. See you later, Iris. I figured out your plan. Want to tell me? You've conspired with Iris for her to come here and be the reason for you to step aside. I only realized the experiment was already on at the very end. Excellent. In that case, you'll also understand that you've made some clear progress. Your approach really is something, but yes. The method I used is called blind. Are you ready to try something else? But I'm aware now, am I not? The new experiment will be different. Hold on a second. These are salted crisp, taffy, and sour berries. You can pick any one snack to eat. I will throw away the rest. What do you mean by throw away? For good. Take your pick. Guess my laces are done super perfectly by now. It's fascinating that Max has figured it all out on himself. I should get going, I guess. That was so much fun. As in, Takeo was fun, or not just him? Well, Takeo, yes. Turns out he understood Maximilian better than Maximilian did himself. I suppose so. And so, maybe Maximilian will eventually learn to understand himself? And the cataracts of heaven will open, and the world will plunge into darkness. Very unlikely. I know you meant that it has seriously helped Max. And it can help even more, and not just him. Dear all, we're standing on the threshold of today's greatest breakthrough, and are horsing around a little on that same threshold. Alright, so what's next? Sugar in my bowl. You're the reason Maximilian gets better. Ooh. I'll go back to camp for now and talk to Takeo later tonight, unless I have a change of heart. Hi, Iris. You're right on time. Indeed, right on time for dinner others have prepared. At long last, Iris. We're about to eat. Go wash your hands. Yes, Ma. I'm finally free for a while. Come with me? Where to? Your cozy hideout? Yes. Although I usually just simply call it truck. Whoa. By the way, your knees are almost touching. I think the box wasn't as close the last time as it is now. Sure, Roy just likes to move stuff around. Well done him. First of all, our game. I want to change the rules. Are you suggesting a strip game? Why not? Actually, you were supposed to say no or even no, Iris. How can you even think that? Sorry, that didn't come to mind. And anyway, I meant something entirely different. I have one question, and your answer means a lot. Any answer, not necessarily a pleasant one, but... Answer? Yeah. What I'm trying to say is I'll do anything you want in return. No competing, just one question and the whole world in return for the answer. This is where the uneasy drum roll should set off. Ask away. Are you uneasy when I hold your hand? Does it remind you of the murder? Yes, it does. I'm sorry. This will render any romantic. Well, I actually like Roy, even though his other murdered us. I think because Roy is the type of guy that I'm actually attracted to in real life. So there's that. Yes. I like them lumberjacky. Anyway, keep your hand in Roy's. I never said it irked me. So, you are not afraid that I'm going to hurt you again? I'm not. I know that you don't want to hurt me. I don't. Yes. Have you forgiven me? For the murder? I followed you to your truck, where you can break my neck any time. I talk to you all the time, and we're holding hands, in case you didn't notice. I don't even know what to tell you here. I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. Nevertheless, I am here. Ain't I profoundly weird? You don't say, but I'm so very grateful. By the way, how many questions have you asked, and how many wishes do you now owe me? I've forgotten all about the count, to be honest. But there were certainly more than one. What can I do for you? How about stop blaming yourself? Anything else? It would be enough. I'll try. By the way, regarding the previous game, here's the script. I'm sorry, I wanted to give it to you earlier, but I didn't have the time. Roy, thank you. Do you mind if I have a look now? Of course I don't. Care to share your thoughts? Do you know what Argus is about? I've seen posters, a conflict between the individual and the big brother. Almost. Argus is what is watching you, constantly watching you. In the film's lore, it's the name of a conglomerate. All in all, you cannot just escape the watchful eyes, the strangers that know more about you than you want them to. You cannot escape it, but you can still try to? More like you can try to put up a fight. Early in the first movie, she picks up a pseudonym for herself. Oh. She learns to smile, walk, and talk, diligently copying different people's ways. She learns to imitate everything, from a slight accent to a special turn of the head, and she gradually turns into a function. Her main goal is to pull Argus's attention and resources while the Resistance attempts to get a hold of the controls. And does she fare well? At the cost of what's still left of her as a person? Yes. And most likely it's all in vain because she ends up as part of Argus. Although, it has a hanging finale. I thought the second film was going to be about the protagonist's story, how she came to decide to become the distractor, for example. Or if you can still bring her back, somehow revert what's happened to her. But no, she does indeed become Argus herself and meets a man who is now doing the same thing for the Resistance that she once used to. And she falls in love? Sure thing. Looks like the script was rewritten in haste, probably after Serena's death already. Behind all the changes, I no longer see the story of the original heroine. She has become fully replaceable. I have no doubt that's exactly what they'll do. Want me to look for any earlier drafts? Sounds tempting, but no. It's never going to go in the direction it was supposed to. Is offering to finish the script ourselves a pointless idea? Unless we want to end up with something truly weird. And with an unexpected love story. Are you implying anything? Well, for example, how unexpected love stories are sometimes. And awkward, right? Terribly awkward. Tell me, how is your investigation going? Nothing to brag about yet. I see. Remember I asked you about, well... Have we had a naughty conversation I forgot about? No, we have not. I wanted to give you something. A pair of earrings or a pendant? Maybe he just filled it up with pretty gemstones. Let's see. Open it. Oh, gemstones and earrings in one. Thank you. I like them. So pretty, like the sun or my eyes. And completely out of the blue. Thanks, Roy. You have very pretty eyes. That's risky. Actually, her eyes are kind of green in this one, and those were blue gems. Anyway, that's risky. I might think you're complimenting me, and will get a little vain as a consequence. I'm ready for the consequences. I realize it's a little weird, but I have another box for you. To be honest, I'm anxious about it. Is he anxious that you might not like it? Oh, adorable. I promise I won't shoot myself if they don't fit. Good to know, but I meant something different with these. Certain evidence suggests that those who die in front of a mirror gradually recall the skills of their prototypes. We should check and then talk to Takeo. Why be anxious about it, though? If I can dance like Serena did, that's awesome. I can't, that's fine too. Because they recall the personality too. Apart from the skills, the knowledge, the struggles, the experience. I don't quite understand how this works since I wouldn't know. But you're probably in danger. Any comments? I don't know. I remember nothing about Serena's life apart from what we've both seen. How about the whole administering first aid thing? Didn't it just resurface in your head? You've also become more active since she died. My inner voice was never this clear before. Maybe you weren't this lonely before. And you're also telling me what to do when the bus sank. I wanted to help, and I did apologize. Uh-huh. Talking to Takeo is increasingly appealing. Iris. I don't want to scare you. This information will turn out unreliable, but we better check. I got lost in my thoughts. Sorry. Sure. let's check. It's just that I'll need an even surface and a pair of better fitting trousers. Let me rub Dora just a little, and I'll see you on the nearest road. Let's go see Takeo. Uh-huh. Let me change my shoes first. Learn to dance. It is irrational to worry this much. I guess so, but still. Sorry. We need your help. Let me know if I can help too. What is going on? Those who die in front of the mirror get to inherit their prototype skills, experiences, and even personal qualities. I've heard about it today. Me and Iris, we decided to check if it's true, and it does seem to hold, at least with regards to skills. Can you reevaluate the risk and tell her what to expect? Iris, if you want, we can talk in private, just you and me. You can tell others whatever you feel appropriate to share later. Oh, seems like Takeo allows for the fact that I had problems earlier on today. Or just for the fact that I may not want to share. I think I'd rather a private chat. Roy will go nuts, although technically this whole thing concerns me exclusively. The only thing left to do is to figure out if I like Roy. It was nuts. You're still joking. At 2, Iris. Anyway, time to decide. I'm gonna go with both. Why not summon all of my dearest friends? Johnny, Chloe, Suze, Diaz, Max. Actually, maybe not Fabrico. Missing the crowd? More like having a hunch that anyone here would be more useful than just me alone. I like Tian to join and Roy to stay. Tell me everything from the beginning. Serena could dance the flamenco and I couldn't, but I just did, and I was pretty impressive. And I don't see how this is a dramatic development. What is, though? Not necessarily dramatic per se, but it was like I suddenly saw her dancing on stage in a dress and shoes, and I sort of became her for a while, and stopped being myself. One could say I'm really not thrilled. Neither am I. It's good that we found out, though. Although I wonder what could have come of it. By the way, if anything, fell on me while I was dancing, I'm not sure I'd be quick enough to react. Should probably hire a page just in case. He'll be running off and fending off dangers while I'm at it. The idea sounds reasonable, but I'm afraid I will not be able to commission a page for you. Have you had any similar episodes after your prototype's death? Flashbacks, distorted perception of reality, atypical behavior? I don't see any point in lying. Only once, on the very first day of the expedition, when my crack appeared. It is likely that there is no direct link, as I said before. Nearly everyone has cracks. Go on, please. That time, one detail triggered a memory of my prototype, and I sort of fell into a flashback. Were you also out of current reality time? Exactly. However, I understand perfectly well that what I was seeing was a memory then, while this time, I really didn't. Any other differences? Yes. That time I recalled something that I couldn't have known. Could these memories be inherited from Serena? In theory, yes. But I cannot state anything with complete certainty. When the reflection is constantly in front of the mirror, there are periods when they mimic the prototype mechanically. From those, very few memories are retained. In essence, you get something along the lines of a déjà vu. Your memories are most likely real, but they've been displaced. So why would they resurface out of nowhere? These things happen after the death of one's prototype. Our link to them is still understudied, and when it snaps, reflections usually cannot adjust to their new circumstances immediately. It should take a couple of months for your memory to recover fully. Let's get back to discussing flashbacks. Any other differences between them? I can tell him that I saw someone I know, and then I'll have to tell him that Roy is my murderer. Listen, he's a doctor after all. The more he knows, the better. I saw Roy's prototype in that dream, or Roy himself with flowers. Did Roy's prototype and Serena know each other? He's the one who murdered her. My condolences to both of you. Thanks for sharing, Iris. Let's continue. Can you estimate how long you were out of it? A few seconds in both cases. This is expected. I may have said this before. You died in front of the mirror, and hence have the physical experience of living through death. Many who have gone through the same thing have flashbacks. I have a rather specific type of post-traumatic stress disorder. Exactly. I think that when you stopped being yourself, your psyche used disassociation as a protection mechanism to fight the painful feelings. I will prescribe you some medication to reduce emotional strain. Is it that bad? Don't worry, it's a light sedative. Follow the timetable in the dosage. A light sedative, lack of choice. Ugh. Everything clear? Quite so. Takeo, I've got a question, if I may. Of course. We have already discussed it with Iris, but there's one thing I don't understand. Say, there's a type of PTSD that is triggered by the physical experience of living through death. Well, I've died 3 times already, and yet no symptoms. Is it because my prototype is still alive? Good question. As far as I know, no one who works the same way that you do has ever been diagnosed with anything similar. So probably, it is not so much about the physical experience of living through death per se, but more about living through the death of your prototype. Or something else still. Nevertheless, the symptoms of those who die in front of a mirror are indeed similar to PTSD, so we cannot offer a better diagnosis for now. I would be glad to provide a detailed explanation, but there is very limited research available. I see. And regarding the rest, Iris, I'm with you. There's nothing dangerous about recalling your prototype skills, and it is up to you whether to use them or not. These changes are most likely related to you starting your own separate life. For example, you did not sleep before, and now you do. The same applies to skills. Are you saying that starting from today it is vital that I dance the flamenco? Why? Do you feel the urge? I don't know. Maybe a little. There you go. On the other hand, even if there is no urge, you still have the option now, which is not that bad. Takeo, can I ask Iris a question? Of course. I'm sorry if this is too personal, but do you remember if flamenco was important to Serena? Not really, but I'm not sure. I do remember. Do you remember how she used to come into the studio and dance there alone? At the expense of sleep. When she had too much work, she did it to take her mind off things. Although she actually quite liked to dance. Could it be that your subconscious is willing to be closer to her and thus manifests itself through dance? Could be. What an interesting idea, Tien. Thank you. Iris, you may experience your displaced memories coming back, but in the case of flamenco, nothing is pointing at the fact that we're dealing with them. Uncertainty scares us the most, and we try to get rid of whichever way we can. It is a mere self-defense mechanism. The brain completes certain images relying on its memory and associations. So am I simply letting my imagination run wild? I cannot state with certainty, but that is the most probable version. Hey, inner voice. Have I imagined you into being too? In that case, you're very talented. Now, the most controversial subject, personal qualities. Tell me, have you noticed any significant changes to your personality? Tell him about me. I think Takeo can help you figure it all out, and it'll be less stressed. We both will be. Doctor, I think my inner voice is kind of Breaking Bad. You might want to rephrase it, but generally speaking, yes. I have no idea how you'll react. Okay, then. He's asked me if I have had a significant personality changes. Do I not? To be honest, there are certain changes. Tell me in detail, please. After my prototype's death, my inner voice has become more pronounced. Yep, I know. We all have an inner voice. Yep, arguing with yourself in your head is absolutely fine. Yep, we all sometimes tell our own selves to go to hell. But when my inner voice starts telling me what to do, I feel like I'm losing control. You think this is healthy? Shall I open the door to Crystal City? Who do you want to open the door to? A doctor? There aren't even a dozen psychiatrists in the community, and neither Iris nor we have anything to offer them. Are you saying you can figure this out? As long as no one is interrupting me. Iris, you should definitely talk about these things. Thank you for trusting us. Let's get to it, shall we? I need you to answer in as much detail as possible. Is your inner voice always there, and does it respond when you call on it? Does it? It does. I guess it's a yes to both questions. Can I ask your inner voice something directly? She can hear you, yes, and I'll pass on the answers. So you cannot move her forward consciously, so to speak. Oh, no. All right. Does she have her own name? Never actually thought about it, but Iris is a good name. No, she uses mine. If this other Iris were offered her own separate body, would she want it? What am I going to do with it, though? I'm your inner voice, after all. She says that she's my inner voice and hence does not need her own body. But your inner voice acknowledges herself as a separate person, right? Yes, no, this question feels wrong. We're simply together. I cannot imagine myself being totally apart from you. It doesn't feel like she and I could be totally apart. But she is different, correct? Yes. Obviously. And what does she want? To help, I guess? I'm worried that you might get involved with the wrong people and end up suffering or even hurt. She says she's worried about me and she wants to help me. The other Iris, has she tried helping you already? Can she provide an example? Yesterday. I mentioned this before, but during last night's incident, she was very persistent in telling me what to do. Did you agree with her? Yes, but we see eye to eye, so technically I was in agreement with myself. Unfortunately, this is unrepresentative. No deviation from the norm. Can I ask Iris? Both Irises a question. Of course. Have there been other similar situations? Guess not. There totally has been. When Tony fainted, I told you how to... You told me. I thought I just came up with it on my own. I now have this feeling that I tried to intervene then, but I didn't quite know what I was doing. Delightful. Iris? We just had a discussion. She says that I owe her that sudden burst of my first aid knowledge. What I mean is, when Tony fainted after making all those doors, I suddenly remembered what to do when someone faints. The knowledge just resurfaced in my head. Turns out the other Iris got scared in both cases, with Tony and with the bus. I didn't... How did she figure it out? I don't know, she just did. Are you scared or what? Well, you don't understand, do you? Even I cannot quite... Again, how can she understand? And she's scared now, too. No. This is a different situation. What do you mean? In the bus incident, it was Dora who was in danger. And then it had been Tony before. Seems like the second Iris worries about others more than she does about herself. Being under scrutiny makes me uncomfortable, but I think she's right. She's not too thrilled about just how craftily you picked her for her rich inner world apart, but she agrees with your version in general. Thank you. I would have never guessed myself. Of course you would. And I know which question you're going to ask next. I have no doubt about that. What does the second iris hold the most dear and the most important? Everything related to Serena, for one thing. And also, I'm struggling for the word. You know, when you try to view a situation as it is, without gripping to your first impression or some familiar ways of judgment or action. Unblinkered vision? Guess so, and probably staying true to yourself. Are you implying we should live in peace and harmony? No, just, I like it when you make a decision and then stick to it. Dull. Everything related to Serena, unblinkered vision, and sticking to decisions once made is such a buzzkill. What does Serena have to do with all this? We wouldn't have existed without her. She says we wouldn't have existed without her. It's just like you would not without Mirrors, Serena's parents, and her entire circle of relations that has played a big part in shaping her personality. Well, in that case, because Iris is mostly Serena. She says that I am mostly Serena, and since the Iris is mostly me, we're now talking degrees of self-identification. Curious. If she really is mostly you, is there anything else she has gotten from you directly? None of the good stuff. Actually, her jokes are sometimes quite decent. At first, she didn't even understand me, so she couldn't relate. Good. I understand that you're getting tired, so one final question. When the other Iris sees your flashbacks, does she like them or not? I like to think the flashbacks are a means preserving something that used to be Serena's. Her memories, maybe. Someone invented you to just rub salt into my wounds. She wants to believe that my flashbacks are memories of Serena's, and this way, something that used to be hers still lingers and doesn't disappear. I see. Thank you. Iris, I'm no psychiatrist, and I'm not ready to settle on a diagnosis. Ugh. Damn, just when I thought we had Billy Milligan's condition. We have not thought anything. Maybe that was some other us? It's quite hard to diagnose a dissociative identity disorder. And again, I'm no psychiatrist. All right, but do you have anything to tell me? Yes. As far as I understand, the other Iris has emerged as a reaction to stress caused by Serena's death. Moreover, I am almost certain that you'll go back to being your own single self in a while. At the moment, the very core of your common identity with her is comprised of humor, behavioral consistency, and all that concerns Serena. Seems like a stable structure to me, which is good news. The recipe is simple. You should aim to stand united with her. Hold on a second. Do you mean that I should figure out Serena's death, stay true to myself, and continue joking? Exactly. If it gets worse, which is possible, let me know right away. In my opinion, the prognosis is a moderately optimistic one. Your psyche is trying to cope with the stress, and for the time being, it seems like you will not need any external intervention. It's quite funny that he allowed you to keep joking. Ugh, us to keep joking. You're allowed to. The voice of yours. Thank you. We understand more now. You are welcome. And wait a minute. I shall get you the pills. I should tell Dora about what happened, just the medical facts, since she is your curator and should know these things. Okay. Iris, I've got nothing to add to what Takeo said, but remember, you can always come to us when something is bothering you again, alright? Uh-huh. I'll share all my thrilling pathologies with you and Takeo from now on. I would prefer no pathologies, but it is nice to see your spirits this high. Takeo, we're going to step aside and then come back. Of course. I got scared for you. Are you now going to oversee me taking my pills? I'll leave the control to Dora, but I'll look at you every now and then. Every often now and then, and every seldom now and then. It's your call. I really should head back to the camp. Lights out was ages ago. Let's say goodnight to the others, and I'll walk you. I've got a weird question. You sort of know the rules, no? I do. Here's an express game. You are 3 short truths in exchange for a dare. Seems suspicious, but okay. Thanks. Are you afraid of heights? No. Do you want to see a local landmark? Maybe. Will you go on a date with me? I will. Whew. Wait a second. Just like that? We held hands, then we'll go on a date, then we'll kiss. Seems to be going by the book of how to arrange one's personal life in the wild. Sounds way too rational. I'm confused. Are you into him? Got it. Tomorrow night, then. Same clothes as always. Alright, do I get my dare now? Of course. What do you want? Let's saw you on the date. It's a deal. Now then, Iris, why so late? We need to talk. I didn't mean to be late. What's wrong? Iris, it's not the best time for relationships. You need to focus on yourself, on your future. If this is about Roy, we went to see Takeo together because I had a flashback, and it wasn't too comfortable. And what did Takeo say? Are you all right? And why with Roy? Dora, I'm very tired. Takeo will tell you everything. He has prescribed me some pills, and it doesn't look like I'm about to die right now. Nothing lethal, so to speak. Fine, I'll talk to him, but you didn't address what I asked about Roy. He just happened to be nearby. Conveniently nearby. Iris, I wasn't joking about the relationships. I know that you're worried, but everything is fine. No, it's not. True relationships require a lot of time and effort, and you're only just starting to figure out what you want and where you're going. Dora, I'm no teenage girl. In some cases, you sure act like a baby. What? Stop it, Iris. Promise me that you'll give some thought to what I said. I promise. Mama knows best. Make angry Dora reprimand you. Not on purpose, though. Who had her fingers mentally crossed just now? I did. And I did give it some thought for an entire second. Can I go to bed now? Hold on just a bit. Technically, I can lay down right here. Iris, I wanted to tell you that Third found a piece of paper under your bed while tidying up around the bus. I think it fell out of your bag when you were going through it. And this is me starting to realize why it's always tidy in there. The chemist's prescription? Yes, I checked with Takeo just in case. And he said that this medication was used for... Hold on, I got it written down here. This is a neuroleptic. Medications like this were prescribed to treat mental and neurological disorders of various degrees of severity. Got any comments? Sounds serious, but I don't even know the name indicated here. Fenrir Dahlberg? Could it have been someone from Tony's circle? Hardly. It's a chemist in London. Are you sure you've got nothing to tell me? I'd love to, but I can't. First of all, I've got no idea of what to say, and second of all, I'm rather well-mannered. Iris. Fine, go to bed. Like something's flashing. There's nothing there. Don't upset me. I think you just really wanted to see something. Say it already, Serena. Damn it, I cannot get used to having to reflect her in her mirrors anymore. And then the dancing. It really feels like she isn't dead. Like you're still reflecting her, but without seeing her. Complicated stuff, but in a way, yes. I understand now where the whole notion of the primary mirror comes from. Many would want to see something again. This way, at least. It's because when you see yourself in the mirror, it's as if you're connected to something. To someone. Someone real. Someone who could have reflected back at you. You know, I really did see something in there for just a split second, but still. Anyway, I'll go show it to Dora. She'll be thrilled to find out that I'm suddenly in possession of a magical artifact, or that I'm going mad. Dora used to be attached to her prototype too. How about tomorrow, though? It's late now, and hopefully nothing is going to happen overnight. Tomorrow, huh? Any victim's classic mistake in a horror movie. Again. But sure, why not? We're gonna wake up full of cracks? Nope, we're fine. Something's wrong. A great start to a diary entry, uh-huh. I'll show that mirror to Dora today, literally right now, as soon as I'm done writing. I hope it helps. What else then? Now I can take part in dancing competitions. James, no one's inviting me, though. Anyway, it turns out Serena's skills are no longer hers, but mine. Kind of. Am I still me or not anymore? I wonder who I get the talent for asking rhetorical questions from. And philosophical ones, too. I'm starting to think that a proactive inner voice also comes from her. I got much more left of her than I could ever dream of, and yet I still miss her so much. Reflect, repeat, watch, reflect. Damn it. Maybe you should just write down whatever you've managed to do and lift your spirits a little. Part of me has had too much of Dora's guidance, so now I'm suddenly using her arguments in my internal dialogues. Chances are Dora is indeed reasonable sometimes, so why not try at least? Fine. I'm this incredible go-getter. So determined, mind-blowing. But what have I achieved so far, then? I hope the practitioners and the scientists, well, or not so much, too impersonal and removed. Right, the personal stuff. I held hands with Roy, and I'm going on a date with him. I wonder how it'll go. And what would make you proud? Let me summon my inner voice. She might have a few ideas. I like to be proud of my achievements. After all, I've attained something important. Maximilian Crack has half closed. I'll be remembering Takeo's cunning until the end of my days. Remembering warmly. Maybe, by the way, my inner voice used to be better behaved. I mean, in many ways, none of those, and a mere glimpse of half-naked men, for example. They deserve every bit of that awe. By the way, Takeo thinks it's nothing to worry about. If he's wrong, though, I'll just go mad. Nothing easy. At least I'll have company. To summarize, a very strange time. In my life, very much so. I'm going to go ahead and stop here, guys. Thank you so much for keeping me company. I will be back soon.